You know, normally when I introduce a speaker, I like to tell a lot about their hometown, where they grew up, and this is the kind of program where if I do that, I'm going to ruin a lot of this young man's presentation. But what I will tell you that is in over 25 years in Rotary, I've encountered a lot of youth exchange students from all over the world, including from your home country. This young gentleman that we have here today, Joe, is hosted by the Woodland Hills Rotary Club and studies at Taft High School, is without a doubt one of the most dynamic, engaging, open, inviting young gentlemen or ladies that I have had the pleasure of working in and working with through Interact, through Foundation Scholarships, through Rotaract, through Youth Exchange. This is a real gem, and our district was very fortunate. So rather than tell you anything that he's going to tell you about himself, it is my pleasure to introduce you to my friend, João Victor Gomes Santos.
Thank you, Todd. Can he keep on talking to me, please? All right, I'm from Brazil. Yeah! Brazil! Who's going to the convention, by the way? Nobody? No, that's good. I'm not going either. But, we know a lot about Rotary. We're all Rotarians here. And, but I guess I have a feeling that Rotary is different for me. The meaning of Rotary is actually something that something that brings people together. And I'm sorry for Joan's husband, who I'm sure was a great person. Just as I'm sorry for Dave Woods, who just passed away. And all of us have the power to change, to make it better, to bring it together. You guys brought me together, to all of you. I come from a really small town, as I'm about to show to you. But first of all, Rotary Youth Exchange Program. These are all the exchange students from my district who are all over the world. Poland, Italy, France, North Carolina, Louisiana, Mexico, all over the world. It's one country connecting the others. And that's amazing. And I like to say that an exchange program, mostly mine because it's my exchange program, I cannot talk about the others. It's just like a book. We start writing chapters. And first chapter, Brazil. Who am I don't know. I'm still looking for the answer. But I can tell you that I'm João Victor Gomes Santos, a Rotary Youth Exchange student, with a great pleasure. And what about Brazil? In the past 10 years, we've been in the world scenario. The world was looking at us because we had the Olympics, now the World Cup. But there's a deep concept of what is Brazil in terms of culture. And that's why I'm here today. Brazil, by its definition, when we were discovered by Portugal, we had a lot of trees that they were called Brasílias. And that's how we were called Brazil. Brazil, the term Brazil comes from that tree that was used to color and to paint t-shirts in Europe. And the colors of Brazil, the Brazilian flag, they're very meaningful to us. The green represents our forests. The yellow represents our gold, our mineral resources. The blue represents the unique sky that we have, because the only place in South America is usually that the cross stays all year long. In the United States, it stays for around here for a month or so. But the cross, the Southern Cross, stays in our sky for the entire year. And the only star above the line represents the federal capital of Brazil, or Washington, D.C., so to speak. And the smallest star represents my state. And guess what? My state is the smallest state in the Confederation. Here's Brazil, localized in the Americas. We're not too far away from the United States, but I feel that I'm really far away from home. There you go. If you guys have heard about Rio de Janeiro, São Paulo, probably Iguaçu Falls, Brasilia, what about Aracaju? Thank you, Todd. It's not a famous city at all. It's actually a very small town, very cute, and it's a capital of a state called Sergipe. It's right here. And that's my beautiful city. I live around there somehow, somewhere. Yes. And we go to the beach on Sunday. Isn't it beautiful? It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I love it. And I miss it. And here's Brazil, the Brazilian map. And if you try to find the smallest state, probably it's hard to see from there, but it's right here. And that's my state. It's the smallest state in the Confederation, but it was the first one to declare part of the Union. So it's small, but meaningful. And one of the smallest cities of the smallest state of the country is my city. It's actually the capital. And here we are.
If you say you have the smallest house in the smallest city,
Yeah, exactly. And here's the deal. Why are we a capital of a state? We are one of the smallest cities of a state, and why are we the capital? Well, the Emperor of Brazil, after we got our independence in 1820, I'm sorry, we had an empire in Brazil. We didn't adopt the republican system. So the Emperor, Dom Pedro I, he had a great idea. We have to build a port in the northeastern part of Brazil so we can start selling and shipping our products to Europe. Deal. And our part, my region actually, is the closest point to Europe or to Africa. So it would be perfect to establish a port system. And my city, just my city by itself, has five rivers. It's not the Lady River that is in canals. It's like rivers. You know what I mean? I was passing through the roads, and my host mom said, "Oh, by the way, this is the LA River." River?
that's a creek.
That's not what I'm used to call a river, right? And that's why we're the capital.
Right?
And here's the flag of my state. If you may recall, the flag of the national flag of Brazil is also green, yellow, and blue. Not coincidentally, we have the same colors. We're the only state to have the same colors as the Union, and that's such a great pleasure. Because we were the first ones to say we are part of the Union, we're the first federal state of Brazil, and we fought for the cause. There were some rebel states, like the Southerners, all the time. They didn't want to be part of the Brazilian Union, and we started fighting for it. The smallest one, but the meaningful one. First chapter. And Aracaju is waiting for you. It's a beautiful city, gorgeous. You could hear the music sometimes. You go to the streets and to the beaches, you eat crab, that's what we eat there. Beautiful people, because the beach. Beautiful. Please. And here I am. It was really hard to leave. Really hard. Probably the biggest decision I've taken in my life. Heck, the only one actually. But living my home was such a was a different feeling. I did not know what to expect. I didn't know who was in the other end of the airplane, of the itinerary. I didn't know anyone, and I was living the certainty to the uncertainty. Chapter 2. I remember, I feel like it was yesterday. I was walking the airport saying goodbye to all my friends, all my dearest family, and I was crying. I was desperate. I mean, what am I doing here, And I sat down in the airplane. I looked to my side. There was a couple right next to me, and they were concerned. Why was I crying? I wasn't, desperate. And out of the sudden, they talked to me, and they're like, "Why are you crying?" "It's because I live with my family and my friends." And I thought I would get some kind of, feeling back from them. They would help me out. Actually, I made everything worse. Their son was also a Rotary exchange student in Australia. So they were remembering about their son. I was remembering about my family. We were crying all together, all the flight.
Oh my God.
That was priceless. I guess even the flight attendant was together with them. first host family, Arturo and Sandra. How many of you know Arturo? All of us, whoever has Facebook knows Arturo because he's always on Facebook. Amazing. And they were my first host family. My first expectations to come to the United States was I'm going to speak English. I'm going to prove my English skills. And I'm going to have a regular regular American life. They're Colombians. And I've never had spoken so much Spanish in my entire life. And if I could describe each of my host families with an object, I would describe them as a camera. Chapter 3. Because the only place that I could never find them was at house. Because they were always somewhere. They would be always doing something, going to a concert, going to the Kings games, to the LA Dodgers games. Amazing. And all the time, hey João, let's take a selfie. And I've heard that sentence so many times, even in Spanish, in English, and whatever. And so I wanted to characterize them as a camera. And they were the cameras of my exchange program. Chapter 4. They've been taking the pictures of my book. And these are, all of the memories are held dearly. Here's Alice Montine. Jorge, I know that you know Scott Padford and Alice Montine as well. And she's a great person. Actually, she adopted me in a way. I call her mãe, which is mom in Portuguese, and she calls me filho, which is son in Portuguese as well. And we have such a great relationship. And she's actually coming to Brazil to spend Christmas with me at the end of the year. Yeah, I love her so much. And if I could describe my relationship with Alice and with her family, it would be a car. She's always going somewhere. She always takes me to places. I remember she took me to Vegas and to Grand Canyon. And just in those 3 days, we drove around 1,000 miles. In 3 days. Amazing. And that's why I like to consider Alice as my car.
That's kind of a short trip for Alice.
I think so.
It's a day trip.
Yeah.
Chapter 5. She's the one who drives my memories. Chapter 6. This is my current host family, the Hornsteins. They live close by, have 2 kids. They're worth it by thousands. I've never seen kids so full of energy. Jesus, that's why I have the battery right next to it. I seem like, do you know the battery bars in the computer, when it's coming down, like when you're running out of battery, it comes down, right? I think the kids are like that during the night. If they sleep for 5 minutes, mommy, daddy, all over the place. It's amazing. But chapter 6, they energize me. They're my battery. Feel important. Through all my great experience, it's a shame that I cannot talk about every single thing that I've been going through. So I had to pick the most memorable memories that I had. And I was feeling important in the end of last year, in January, actually the beginning of this year. Because both Alessandra Malta, she's a current Italian exchange student, and I were selected to be the speakers for the Rotary International Convention in San Diego. And that was such a great joy. I met people from all over the world. That was beautiful. And we spoke in front of 1,600 people. So coming from the smallest state, the smallest city in that smallest state, speaking up to 1,600 people who I've never met in my life from all these different countries, was definitely one of the biggest memories I've ever had. And then a great experience. The District 5280 went to Guatemala as a humanitarian Rotary trip. And I had the great pleasure of going as well. And it was amazing. I could see the smile of the kids. And that trip changed my life in a certain way that I feel powerful now, in a way that I can help. As long as I can help, I will feel powerful, just like Rotary stands for. Chapter 7. Ryla. Rotary Youth Leadership Award. Building leadership. definitely. But I learned that actually leadership is not built if you don't have fellowship. Fellowship is just as important as leadership. And the skills that we learn through a weekend were just amazing. And again, memories that I'll keep dearly forever. About a month after Ryla, prom. And thank you, Todd, for taking me there. American tradition. I really wanted to experience it. And I said, okay, I'm not going to prom. I'm a junior. I wasn't invited to go. It's okay, you know. It's okay. No, it wasn't okay. I really wanted to go to prom. And my friend invited me to go, and it was, God, she wanted to go, you know. And we had such a great time. And actually, that picture, I'm wearing lipsticks, yes.
Uh-oh.
I made a bet with my friend. He likes this girl. And I said, okay, if you start asking the girl out now, I'll put lipstick on. I promise you. And he did, and I had to put lipstick.
Looks very nice.
And after almost a year of experiences, after jumping into the pool or into this amazing experience, I like this picture, even though it's in Portuguese, I can translate it to you. Sometimes we need to adapt. Otherwise, we're screwed. I needed to adapt myself. It wasn't easy. I left my house, my family, my Brazilian dreams to come here and have another dreams, American dreams. And I had to adapt myself. And after an entire year, a normal exchange student conversation would look like this. So, I was talking to my mom. Which mom? My second host mom. So, we were talking, and then my dad calls me. Which dad? My real dad. So we start talking, and my sister comes in. Which? My host sister. So you have it's amazing how you get attached to people that you didn't know, and they get attached to you. As I said, Alice coming to Brazil in the end of the year. The relationship that I have with Arthur and Sandra, Stephen, Brian, and the kids is amazing, and it's incredible how people. Completely different people become together. And now is the feeling that I have right now. I'm about to leave. I'm about to go back home. I'm happy for it. But I'm extremely sad that I'm gonna leave a piece of my heart in Los Angeles, in the District 5280. Which one is harder? You've been alive for 16 years and you live it for 10 months. You've been alive for 10 months, and you live it forever. Which one's harder? And I feel like I'm being very dramatic now, but it hurts. It hurts a lot. And as I said, final chapter. It's a book. You know, a great friend of mine is now a writer. He's writing a book. And it's amazing how I'm going through the process that he's having right now to put it down his ideas, organizing it, to figure it out which words to use, how to describe it, how to figure out the characters. And it takes a lot of time, a lot of preparation. Then you finally start writing. Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Chapter 3, Chapter 4, final chapter. And when it comes to the final chapter, you really don't know what is going to be your last period, your last paragraph. You keep on writing. Or when you finally, okay, that's the last paragraph, a new one comes. So, okay, now is the last paragraph. A new one comes again. Or just delete it and focus on the other one. And that's just like my life right now. I had to spend a year before coming here organizing papers, going to consulates, getting my visa, getting all the paperwork done, and finally I came here. Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Chapter 3, and so on. And now, unfortunately, and happily, I am my final chapter. After a whole year of memories and dedication and learning and new experiences, I am in my final chapter. And I feel like all my steps now are my last paragraphs. But tomorrow, maybe someone's going to invite me for something and say, no, okay, that's going to be my last paragraph. Or no, after that is going to be my last paragraph. And it never ends. And even though I say, okay, this is the real last period, last paragraph, and I close the book and I go back to Brazil, this book will always be open in such a way that my life has changed forever. Thank you.